Right, we're back live with you tonight and in focus, and thanks for staying on. The NUM's Highveld Region met Public Enterprises Minister Pravin Gordhan on Friday in an effort to come up with lasting solutions to the energy crisis. The Highveld Region is located in Mpumalanga and has a sizable workforce at most of the Eskom's power plants in the province. Following that discussion on Friday, the National Union of Mineworkers said Minister Gordhan had a deep understanding of challenges confronting the ailing power utility. For more on that discussion, we are now joined by Malekutu Motubatse, chairperson of NUM in the Highveld region. Good to have you with us, sir, and thank you very much for your time. Coming out of that meeting on Friday, do you feel that the explanation that were given to you as the union match up with what you are experiencing on the ground as far as the worker experience is concerned? I'll tell you why. There are some arguments that are coming out to say, no, there is a deliberate effort to make Eskom fail in order to sell it to the private sector at a small change. And the Minister of Public Enterprises being the one who is blamed by and large for heading up that so-called project. Is that the kind of understanding that you got listening to Minister Pravin Gordhan?
No, not at all. Maybe firstly, we must start by indicating that we did not go into the meeting to listen to the minister. We went into that meeting providing solutions to the minister. So on the basis of us having sizable members, like we have indicated in different power stations, so we engaged our members on the ground, and because our members are directly affected by load shedding. Our members do not sleep in the power stations. Come up at 4:30, they need to knock off. When they arrive in their respective communities, then they are confronted with load shedding. So after a thorough discussion with our members, of course, providing solutions to the union, we then requested a meeting with the minister, and we gave him the solutions that we think that they can be able to assist the country. 1, 2. The NC has not resolved on privatizing Eskom. So the minister is not carrying his own mandate as Pravin Gordhan. So there is no way that he can resolve on his own mandate that he wants to sell Eskom to the private investors.
So what is particularly unique about this engagement that has not happened previously? I mean, is this the first time that you are sitting the minister down to say, Minister, come listen to us. Here's what's happening at these power plants, and these are the solutions that we think you should pursue?
Yes, indeed. It was for the very first time, and we've taken a process, the NUM, that we are not going to be spectators. We are not going to allow people who doesn't even know how the boiler looks like or the turbine looks like, masquerading and parading as energy expert. Hence, we called a meeting with the minister. We said, we are engaging with our members on a daily basis. These are the challenges that power stations are confronted with, and we believe these are the solutions.
So what are the quick solutions that would ensure that when your members knock off at 5, when they get home, the lights are on?
The quick solution that we have also provided the minister is that you go to Kusile Power Station. It has 3 units that are off. Those 3 units need to come back. There is a flue gas duct that has collapsed there. So we have said to the minister, remove the red tapes and make sure that in a period of 6 weeks, 3 to 6 months, the duct is being fixed, but you remove the red tape. What do we mean by saying remove the red tape? Make sure that we don't go through all these processes that will take forever. But we cautioned him again to say that we must not use the very same approach that we used during COVID, whereby people were just looting the resources. We said after removing the red tape, then establish a committee. That committee, it must be called Monitoring and Evaluation Committee. That committee, it must have people from procurement, it must have engineers, it must have technicians, so that they analyze and also they monitor the process of procuring. Because we know that if you can just remove the red tape and say everyone must just come and buy, you will have a Christmas of people looting in that particular power station. So we said within that particular period of 3 to 6 months, you will make sure that particular committee is monitoring the process Then you'll have 3 units of Kusile coming back online. Remember, Kusile, each unit it gives you more than 800. So we're speaking about more than 2,400 megawatts. Then you've downgraded the load shedding from stage 4 to stage 2. That is something that will work for the country. Our main focus was Kusile, but we also gave him an example. For example, in Highveld Power Station, we know that we've got a problem of space. Maatla is the same. But in Chuchuga, we're very clear and categorical that remove the general manager there. As the NUM, we believe that it does not serve the purpose. We are in this crisis because of that man who's running with half load, and some of the units are not even running there.
How is this, though, Motubatse, going to help us with this challenge? And I don't know whether you share the same view as Solidarity that says there are companies who are intent on what, for lack of a better word, ripping off Eskom, in a sense that they are deliberately breaking these plants in order to be on the other side, to be ready to come and collect from fixing them again and again and again. Hence, you are seeing these power stations continue to break down. Now, if you remove the red tape, is that not going to allow those companies who are in a sophisticated way really looting the power utility?
First and foremost, we agree with Solidarity and we engage with the minister to say that you look at the maintenance in Eskom, it has been outsourced. Previously, you will have Eskom employing its own artisans, but majority of the plants in Eskom, maintenance there, it has been outsourced. So these people, they don't fix with the intention of fixing. And they just fix because these are the people that are employed. They still want to continue getting employment. We also raised the issue of outages with the minister to say that the companies that are conducting outages, they bring spares that is of substandard in its nature. That is why you will have a unit that it goes to outage, working, of course, because the time has arrived to go to an outage. It was working properly, but when it comes back from outage, it is always tripping because people who are conducting outage there, they bring substandard spares, and that, of course, it does not assist the situation. So the issue of the red tape, hence we have suggested, Thabo, that the minister must establish a monitoring and evaluation committee. And we have said to him, monitoring and evaluation committee, it shouldn't be a committee that has Eskom employees. It should be a committee that comes from his office. That committee must not even be at a power station on a full-time basis. It must just arrive there, and on its arrival, it must request to see the space that has been bought by Eskom employees, those are in procurement. It must request to see the books and the monies that have been paid. Because if you just remove willy-nilly, you will have the problem that you have just mentioned.
Yeah, and how do we then deal with prices that would be escalated in the advent of the removal of red tape, the likes of what we saw during COVID-19, where PPE was priced at ridiculous prices for a simple thing as a mask?
What you have said to the minister is that if you look into Eskom, in many cases, the prices there are being inflated. It is because of there is no committee that looks into whether if you have bought an iPhone at an iStore, which is 20,000, when an Eskom employee is buying that particular phone, is buying you the same amount. What we know is that an iPhone that you can buy 20,000, an Eskom employee or those who are dealing with procurement, they will buy it with even 80,000. It is because there are no mechanism in Eskom as we are speaking to stop this particular corruption, to stop this particular looting that is happening. We said this monitoring and evaluation, by the way, it must not be on an ad hoc basis. It should be something that is the minister must consider going forward. You remember that at some point, the very same CEO of Eskom has indicated that a mere mob was bought with 800 rand by Eskom employees. So we're saying we must have a mechanism of making sure that whatever that you are buying that particular amount, it is the amount that Eskom has been, because currently Eskom has been milked. And we know that Eskom it has been milked because people, they are just escalating. In fact, we know that some of Eskom employees are in cahoots with the service providers. So we said to the minister, this monitoring and evaluation committee, those are the issues that it must look into, because we cannot allow Eskom to be milked. They are now milking a dead cow. Because Eskom, it doesn't have money anymore. But people, they continue milking a cow, even when they see that the cow is dead.
So is there anything concrete that came out of that engagement? I mean, do you think you just threw some suggestions at the minister, and the minister just said, yeah, okay, NUM, thanks, and left? Or is there something concrete that he committed to say, I hear you, and by this time, next week, I would have put together this board that is going to come. By this time next week, I would have removed such and such red tape. Is there anything concrete that is coming from the minister as far as that is concerned?
What inspired us then is that the minister has a clear understanding of the challenges in Eskom, and he has a plan on how these challenges must be confronted. So, because it was a meeting between the two parties, we could not put a gun on his head. But our understanding was that we went there to say, Minister, the country has a very serious challenge of load shedding. As the NUM, because that is our space, we know the challenges that are happening in these power stations. By the way, the power stations that we have just mentioned, Tabo, all of them, they give you more than 600 megawatts per unit. If you've got 4 power stations, in fact 3 except Kusile, because Kusile is more than 800, if you've got 3 power stations, that all of them are running at their maximum, you will not even have stage 4 in the country. In actual fact, when you also bring Kusile on the immediate as well, you will not even have this particular stage 4. So the minister was listening, and we want to convince ourselves, because we were also convinced by him that he was listening to us, and he's going to work on the plans that we have given. And he said that we have taken a posture as the NUM that says, enough is enough, we can no longer be spectators, we need to fix this country, because before we become members of the NUM, we are members of the community, and we are also confronted by the load shedding. So
what about those who are not convinced by that posture, who are saying, NUM, what are you going to do? So, I mean, we have the next month, and we are still on load shedding stage 6. What are you going to do then if those things that you have suggested have not been implemented in this new posture that you're taking that says enough is enough?
We have a follow-up meeting with the minister, by the way, Thabo, somewhere this week, whereby he will be not reporting back to us, but of course, because the next meeting is also about the just energy transition, but we will also be looking into how far is he with these issues, because we have said to the minister, we are very categorical that the minister, we don't have time. Load shedding is a very serious headache that we need to confront and defeat on the immediate. So this week we are planning to have a meeting with him, because he has indicated that he wants to give us more time to also, we know that just energy transition is affecting us in the province, in particular in Mpumalanga. But we are hoping that when we meet with him this week, we'll then be able to get how far he has moved, because our understanding was that he still wanted to maybe talk to the president and engage the president based on the issues that we have raised, so that they can then be able to act. Because, like we have indicated, the issue of red tape is a very serious problem, but we don't want to have a situation whereby when the red tape has been removed, then people start looting like hyenas.
Mr. Motubatse, I appreciate your time. Thank you very much for coming on tonight. That is the NUM Highveld Regional Chairperson, Malekutu Motubatse.